All right. Let's talk about the long con. And what do I mean by that? The long con the is what we have all participated in. This idea of a few using our labor, our intellect, and our emotions and directing it to profit them and to support them uh, to keep the control that they have that they have created, directing the narrative, directing uh, the your existence, your so-called quote unquote life, and that is something that they have uh, they have conned us all into buying into. And how do they do this? They do it by the idea of money, of ownership, of privatizing, uh, giving you the uh, concept that you can somehow get to their level and be part of the ones who are directing. And that is a long con game. And we have all all pretty much accepted this. And that has kept us in a static stasis that doesn't allow us to progress, doesn't allow us to evolve, doesn't allow us to uh, fulfill actual dreams, actual aspirations. It divides. It it divides and conquers us. It makes us nothing more than slaves, commodities for control and profit. And I think there's quite a few of us who are starting to understand a little bit about this. But we need to evolve even further because if we do not serve ourselves as a collective, if we cannot uh, follow our aspirations and our dreams, and I'm not talking about the superficial of I want to be famous, I want to be pretty, I want to be handsome, I want to be wealthy, I want to be powerful, I want to have control, uh, because that those are all illusions. There is no control. Uh, if in this system we buy into it, if we participate in it, the con game continues, and it will continue to subjugate us, make us nothing more than pawns and commodities to leverage power and profit for a few. You can call it whatever. You can call it capitalism. You can call it feudalism. You can call it religious uh, theocracy. You can call it market socialism, uh, or material socialism. It doesn't matter. It it crushes all because it always advantages those who have the most. They use this in all sorts of media, from your entertainment shows, your movies, your so-called news media, your uh, in your education, in societal narratives. It's a 365. And why? Because they know that your ignorance will drive your emotions. Your preconceptions will drive the narrative, and they can use this. And the thing is money, property, and all that is just a con game. It has always been a con game. The the planet, the world provides, and there are rules and laws to nature, to the natural world, but it is our intellect and that can mitigate these. But without the investment into your intellect, so that you can modify and moderate your emotions, which is the spirit, then you will continue to fall. You will be the patsies, the what they talk about in con games. I forget the word they use, but I think you understand what I'm talking about. And you know, uh, it's for it's for the illusion of money, or the illusion of getting some sort of return, and it ultimately it just stymies growth. It prevents evolution. It stops progress. It conditions and indoctrinates us to be suckers. It's simply that we're suckers. We're all suckers. It places a value on an individual level that, hey, the your blooded offspring and yourselves are more important than the collective. Whereas if you understand this and you work as a collective and you try to evolve and progress, so that people have more time to understand critically, and have a more robust spirituality. That is a collective security. That is collective stability. That is evolution. That is progress. That widens uh, dreams and aspirations. It gives a more natural balance to what relationships are. It secures our safety and stability, and it widens what we commonly use as liberty and freedom, and 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 all sorts of other stuff that we always say we seek. Competition is nothing more than animalistic behavior. Animals compete with each other. But we're supposed to be humans. We're supposed to be above that. But it is competition that destroys a future, which keeps it at a stagnant level, which goes around to murdering and pillaging and plundering and then destroying the very fabric that is existence, that is life, which could promote harmony and give us actual dreams, actual aspirations, where we could turn to our neighbors and the greater global community to be proactive, that will put standards that are common, where we will not say, "Oh, just because oh, just because you look like this, or you have no, you have lesser value." We can all lift ourselves up in a communal boat. We can become the collective that oversees the natural world, so that it will have sustained stability, enhances our natural world. Because right now, all we do is consume. Everybody accuses of animals just being consuming and competing. That is the human mentality: competing and consuming. How is that any different from being an animal? Oh, we're clever. We can build and produce stuff like smartphones and cars and so on and so forth. But if it just consumes the natural world, if it just destroys and pollutes, then how is that any different? How is that any different? We're supposed to be smarter, right? We're supposed to be self-aware. But how self-aware can you be if you allow the destruction of the natural world to the point where it's collapsed? It's collapsing. How is that survival? How is that enlightened survival? It isn't. We've animals fight, have their own little wars, but we're supposed to be better than animals, right? So why are we, the clever animals, doing so much destruction and death? Even when we aren't doing actual wars, we war in other ways through that competition of and consumerism. There is always a way to get the things we need without destroying and polluting and destabilizing. But you can't do that if you don't invest. If you don't invest in the intellect and the spirit, and come to a balanced uh, uh, understanding that will promote a collectivism, a proactive collectivism that we drive together, Our entire society is about competition and consumption. And if we believe ourselves to be better, if we are to be the shepherds of our own existence in life, then we need to reach further. We need to have better aspirations, better dreams, because ultimately destroying the very fabric that gives life, that gives existence, is a fool's errand. It is a pathway to collective extinction. And it is depression, it is self serving, it is nihilistic, it is destructive.